Well, gang, it looks like we got another mystery on our hands. You might want to start rolling those fat doobies because we got a big one tonight, fellas. Relax. You're gonna get some tonight, okay? If you're new here, you do not have to subscribe. You do not have to like the video unless you want to, of course. Real quick, though, shout out to the homie Brian for being a member on the channel. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for that. And check this one out. Now, our very first clip is coming from Turkey, okay? And relax, you're gonna get some tonight because we talking about aliens, we're talking about UFOs, cryptids, Bigfoots, Skinwalker, ghosts. You're gonna get a whole lot tonight, okay? Alien bimbos, you down for that? Yeah, let's talk about alien bimbos. Where are they? Yeah, from this angle it looks like a bunch of balloons put together, right? But they're saying it's a UFO. Yeah, looks like a truck is reversing in the background, huh? The sound. What do you make of it? Yeah, let me pop those suckers up right now. Let me pop those balloons, bruh. Nah, man, it ain't popping, fellas. It ain't popping. Maybe the real deal. Maybe. Mom, get the camera, Mom. Get the camera. Now check this one out. Roll it. So they're saying this is a UFO mothership they caught. Yeah, I wonder, right? Like, and it's rotating, doing a 360. Yeah, come down, guys. Like, in the name of the law, come down. We'll give you Scooby Snacks. We'll give you Kit Kat. Yeah, what about Kit Kat? Yeah, Kit Kat's good. Kit Kat's good.
Bruh.
No? Okay. Jersey milk. What about Jersey milk? Maltesers? You want some twigs? What twigs? What y'all want, man? Come down. We got everything for ya. Yeah, you see like this view here. So zoomed out, zoomed in. And it's called Freak Aliens. Yeah, I wonder, man, like, who's flying it? Is it actually like one of ours? As in reverse engineered, of course, so based off of the real tech like we always hear. Based off of the real UFOs and the real aliens, is that what it is? Man, I just want to see them alien bimbos, bro. Like, I want to see them baddies and all that. Alien baddies. And you got like a hole, pause. Yeah, you got a hole underneath that thing. What do you make of it? Check this one out. So this is on the news right now. Roll it. Shout out to News Nation.
Push for answers in the skies. A group of House lawmakers say it is time for transparency.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to unidentified anomalous phenomena or
It's been time for a minute. We demand answers. We demand answers. The public demand answers. Or remove the taxes. Remove the taxes if you cannot tell us the truth. Like the video if you agree.
UAPs. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says fresh legislation is coming, as well as back-to-back hearings, all in an attempt to force federal agencies to come clean. It's all on the heels of a bombshell briefing featuring top experts, including Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb. The packed session was to dissect the science, security risks, and what some believe is a government...
Man just casually blinking. He casually blinking, man. He knows, like, they ain't gonna reveal jack. But that's the thing, Anna Paulina Luna, she has been saying that they're gonna be declassifying 911 files, you know, EP Island files, JFK, which they already did, bunch of other stuff, UFOs, alien stuff as well, that we're gonna get a disclosure that, relax, we gonna get some. And it's been a minute that they have been saying. Let's find out.
From crash retrieval programs to calls for declassifying Navy UAP footage, lawmakers insist this is no longer an issue on the fringes of society. They're promising a systemic shakeup in how this country deals with the unknown. And Dr. Avi Loeb is joining us live right now. He gave a 20-minute presentation at this week's event and has been at the forefront in the push for UAP transparency for some time now. Dr. Loeb, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And it was interesting, on the day before the congressional briefing, you visited the Pentagon and you saw some of the tools the Defense Department is using to combat, quote, terrestrial threats. Can you explain this technology and what role AI is playing?
Yo!
Right, so there is the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office in the Pentagon that is looking at past events. It has been reviewing them for a couple of years, but it's time now to, instead of being obsessed with past events where the data is limited, to build new observatories that search the sky
Bruh, we need to like bring them down, man. Not by shooting, okay, pause. But we need to talk about, like, you know, maybe telling them, hey, bozos, hey, twats, come down, man. Like, come down. Maybe, like, hit them up with some Twinkies, maybe. Or find out what they like, bro. Find out what they like and tell them, yo, we got a whole lot of that. Come down, let's talk. You know, let's sit down, let's talk. Okay, we'll give you Scooby snacks. We'll give you like maybe a king size mattress or something like that. Bruh. We're gonna get, yeah, like something. Just come down, let's talk. Okay, yeah, do something. We do not need more observatories, or we see them already. Okay, we see apparently thousands of people, millions of people claim to have seen recorded videos. We got billions of videos on the internet, real ones, fake ones, you name it. We need to see them twats. We need to see the biological beings before GTA 6. Come on now, man. Like the video if you agree.
In principle, if these objects are out there, we should be able to find them.
Facts.
And I believe that research, scientific research, is necessary in order to promote our understanding of what the nature of these unidentified objects is. Because
I agree.
There are two possibilities. Either they are human-made, if they are technological, or they're extraterrestrial. And the simple assumption,
or I would say made based off of the real alien UFO tech. So either us alone or extraterrestrial, like you said, or it's us, but it's being reverse engineered based off of the real alien extraterrestrial tech, and UFOs reverse engineered, you know what I'm saying? So
assumption is that they're human-made, in which case it's a great threat to national security if we can't identify them.
Yep.
We need a system that can identify objects smaller than the Chinese spy balloon, which was barely identified initially. And
I mean, we even had trouble bringing down those Chinese balloons, right? And that's the crazy part. When they said we got Chinese balloons entering our airspace, they also said that they took down, or shot down rather, their words, not mine, they shot down a UFO over Canada, over the lake between US and Canada border. You remember that, right? I believe it was early 2023. They showed us the wreckage of one of those so-called Chinese balloons that they shot down, but when they said they shot down a UFO, afterward, they never showed us the wreckage till this day. So something to think about, man. It's kind of strange, folks.
And for that, we need to invest money in artificial intelligence software and in a new system of sensors that would give us much better capabilities, because what we have at our disposal right now is much better than people had for decades in the past.
Facts. Yeah. That's true.
What were your initial thoughts after the hearing, and can you share with us what the atmosphere was like behind closed doors?
We better get catfish and blue ball, man. That's the short version of it.
I think it's time for the US government to invest $1 billion in trying to figure out the nature of unidentified anomalous phenomena, because even if it's not extraterrestrial, that would allow us to have a better defense system that monitors the sky and can alert the Department of Defense of any threat. In the days that drones are used very frequently, currently there are technologies that we might not be aware of, that adversarial nations are using. And
also, it's important to note that the Trump's administration also came out like a couple of weeks ago at this point, or months rather, weeks, I would say. They came out and they clarified what we saw back in November, December of last year, 2024, the New Jersey drones, right? And they were saying that it's drones, it's basically ours. And what they said afterward was that it's for research purposes. They never said for what exactly, right? And people were like, bullshit, people not buying that. And prior to that, Dr. Stephen Greer, one of the ex-FBI agent as well, whether you're gonna believe it or believe them or not, that's totally up to you, and that's perfectly fine. I feel like that we should always ask questions rather than believing everything, but we should never dismiss it either. I guess you got two sides of the coin, and sometimes the truth is right in the middle. Sometimes you have more than two sides, but this is what the Trump administration said. They were drones made by us for research purposes. What research? What kind of research are we talking about? Yeah, we do not know, right? So interesting. And Dr. Stephen Greer and the former FBI agent said that they are actually made by us as well, but reverse engineered based off of the real alien extraterrestrials, UFOs. Oh, shit. Oh. That's what the whistleblowers were saying, even before the Trump administration said they are ours. Yeah, right. And a lot of people are like, hey, they're probably like real UFOs, and also mixed in with some reverse engineer stuff. And you know, at the time, people were also assuming that the UFO activity is way too much, it's happening way too much, that perhaps we are also sending our drones to look up, go near, research them, and find out what we're seeing. So that was one of the discussion point as well at that time. So yeah, that story went cold essentially. So now nobody cares anymore, right? So
we should figure out what is flying in our sky. Now, from a scientific
you guys do, of course, but I'm talking generally.
Point of view, even if 1 in a billion of these objects happens to be of extraterrestrial origin, the discoverers will get the Nobel Prize for it. So there is an opportunity, in my opinion, to attract the best minds in science to such a project. And I suggested investing $1 billion in figuring out the answer so that we can clear out what these objects are. And I will be very happy if the Department of Defense will use the artificial intelligence software that we develop or the sensors that are being used to enhance.
All right, check this one out. Shout out to the homie Chaos Mogul. I want to play you this very short clip. Roll it.
UFOs flying around all over our skies. I am so excited to bring you some of the most incredible UFO sightings we've seen recently, including a traditional flying saucer-shaped UFO, you know, like the ones we used to see in the 90s. Yeah, we've got some of those. We have an alleged orb flying down into a parking lot and making a tree instantaneously grow out of nothing. Absolutely absurd. And a immaculate constellation whistleblower coming out.
You're telling me what the hell? That was a cop that yeah, that's a man. That seems like a lady cop, like trying to look inside the car. What say, Psych Holmes?
Yeah, we've got some of those. We have an alleged orb flying down into a parking lot and making a tree instantaneously grow out of nothing. Absolutely absurd. And a immaculate constellation whistleblower coming out and saying that we may have just been left behind. You're not going to want to miss this video. We're going to start with one of the videos of the flying saucer UFOs that looks like the traditional UFOs we used to see back in the day. This was posted by the incredible Wixie the UFO bloke, and he says it reminds him of the traditional UFO that was recently caught in Moscow, Russia, and I 100% agree with him. This video is incredible. Let me know in the comments what you think about this.
So Moscow? Seems like one of the next-gen tank flying around, and that thing is floating, rotating rather. Yeah, what if those small alien twats like sitting inside and just are like, okay, let's look there, making sure nobody's around us, right? Yo, that background music, man. Yeah, man. It's not, it looks like a tank just floating in the air. And that would be, I mean, from a human perspective, this tank would be the gun, the mounted gun, right, on top of a tank. That's what it resembles. That's what it looks like. What are the odds it's actually ours? Yeah, it could be ours, right? Like, when you think about it. Because this design, I mean, it's different, don't get me wrong, but the mounted weapon...
we used to see, yes, we would see flat flying saucers that were silver and almost looked like the Silver Surfer's surfboard. But there were a lot of reports of UFOs with, like, orbital pieces, like round parts. Some thought they were landing gears. Some parts had lights that would come out on the bottom. Some said that they would have things protruding from the top. So this is actually showcasing a variant of one of those UFOs that we used to see.
Or what if that's like made by us, reverse engineered, right? It could be that too, especially this one. I'm not saying all the UFOs are reverse engineered or none of that. I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows, right? I mean, somebody knows, but definitely not us. Or maybe there's one of you watching this video in dark, rubbing their hands and like, hey, I know everything. But if you know everything, bro, put it in the comments, man. Let us know, Holmes. Yeah, this right here. Crop. Okay, so we got a family. They're unaware. But the guy behind with the camera is looking at it. Seems like one of those tin-ass UFOs, huh? Those tin-ass ones. Those tin-ass mother truckers. Yeah, it's moving. It's like behind. Is it behind the cloud or? I'm assuming it's not behind the clouds because we're able to see it. But maybe it's super thick. Pause. And it's behind and we're still able to see it because it's super thick. Probably not. Or is it like a weird cloud formation? Nah, definitely not cloud. Because the other clouds are not moving. So you're telling me that this cloud's special? That this cloud got a BBL or something? Like, is it special like that?
Bruh.
Probably not. Yeah, what if the alien bimbos also
Now I
have
like
their
that sighting,
BBL?
and I find
What if the alien bimbos also got their BBL versions?
find it fascinating, but don't get me wrong. You know, I'm a little skeptical sometimes.
I hear you.
I was looking at it, and this time again, while showcasing it to you guys, I run it through the computer, and I got a better look at it. And it didn't seem to go behind the clouds. It was like over them, and then I realized, wait, he's recording through a window. So I started thinking about reflections. Now, I'm not saying it is one. It doesn't necessarily look like one, but that is a possibility. Speaking of, there are a couple of UFO clips.
Man, that's such a hype killer, homie. I mean, that footage wasn't too crazy, like needless to say, but still. Like.
That are going a little viral. All of named past sky.
Urgent. Okay, so I cannot speak the language. Wait, what? No. Nah, man, this looks too good to be true. Or is it like one of the SpaceX thing? Yo, I remember we've seen similar video clip where, yeah, this is definitely SpaceX. They're gonna say SpaceX, and I think it is. Or maybe we are being conditioned to think that this is SpaceX, but I think it is SpaceX. It's something like that happened over LA like a couple of years ago for the very first time, and people were like, "Yeah, it's UFOs, right?" But then they quickly came out and said SpaceX. But there was one sighting where there was like a smaller dot pulsing, just like how we saw earlier, and that pulsing, and it was pulsing, and it made it so. Thank you for subscribing, Sheila. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome on in. But that thing was pulsing like Wi-Fi signals. At least that's the shape that we were making. Okay, so there's the plane right here. Okay, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if they want to launch a rocket. I mean, seems like there's quite a bit of distance, but still, I don't think they would want to launch a... What? Seems like plane is moving faster.
Now, you guys saw that, and I'm sure you already know why I'm like, it's something that we see often with rocket launches, especially when they're trying to break through the barrier and go to space, like through their atmosphere.
Wait for it.
It's not like it's just super easy to whoop, be in space all of a sudden. Like there's layers of ozone and atmosphere and crap going on up there that rockets have to penetrate through. Like we don't fly off of the rock for a reason, right? So that's not necessarily some say it's the firmament, but I won't go there. But it's not necessarily an alien or anything out of this world, and it's definitely not an organism. However, I've seen it spread. It has like millions of views. I've seen it in multiple places, and there's comments of people freaking out. And I don't want anyone freaking out. And I don't know if any of my viewers saw this and you know, like,
yeah, this is SpaceX. I mean, definitely, I guess.
I just want my viewers to know that is not what is being portrayed here. It is okay. Another one.
Ball lightning causes tree to grow instantly in parking lot. What?
What the fuck is that? Oh shit.
Yo!
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna step back.
Nah, man. Nah, bro. Like, I don't believe that. That's hard to believe. So it's captured back on April 25th?
Oh my god. Hey,
So that ball came... I believe there is natural phenomenon, which is super rare. I heard of it. I don't know the exact name. If any scientists watching, put it in the comments. But I heard that there's actually... You know what? There's actually a phenomenon where, like, an electric ball like this could... But they're calling this, like, a UFO thing. Ball lightning causes tree to grow instantly. Oh, shit. Like, that's weird. I mean... Not believable, but I remember hearing or coming across this topic where, yes, they say very rare, it's a very rare phenomenon, but yeah, the thing is real, is what they say. I don't know, man.
Hey.
It seems like that someone's like hair growing, bro. That is crazy. Check this. Shout out to the homie Mystery Man. Roll it.
The creator behind the channel Uncanny Expeditions went on a solo camping trip near Area 51, a secretive US military base surrounded by alien theories. In most of his exploration videos, not much happens, but during this trip, things got interesting.
Oh shit,
So
okay.
I'm riding along and I just caught my first glimpse of the facility. I can see one of the big radar dishes off in the distance. All right, so I'm at the western fence line, looking towards some kind of a small little building there.
Okay, I see movement. Okay, there's
Here's
a car
the
there,
main cluster of buildings, at least on the surface.
Ooh, what's
This
that?
looks like it's mostly hangars and storage facilities where they store models and airframes.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the radar too. They blast it this way downrange.
What would he capture? Yeah, why is this video on camera? Or why are we seeing it?
They've got a
Something
small little
happened.
gate on the western fence here. No drones. Pretty typical signage.
Yeah, something must have happened. I'm kinda curious. No drone zone.
He camped
Well, did anybody like manage to sneak a drone in? Probably not, right? Because if somebody like sent a drone in, even if they cannot see, they can probably detect it on radar. Unless you are one of those like crazy ass scientists that knows everything and you make your own super secret drone that is undetectable. But even then, they would probably like, we're talking about like Area 51, they probably got like crazy ass security.
on a hill overlooking the base. At night, with his night vision camera,
Oh,
he
crap.
spotted some activity.
Oh, damn.
5 or 6 vehicles entered the facility. Things kind of calmed down. I wasn't sure if I was going to see anything, but after a while sitting there in the dark, things started to get interesting.
Oh, it always is, huh? Sitting in the dark, that's what she said. I mean, no, that's not what she said.
The first thing I noticed was a light appeared on the ground. It was too faint for me to see with the naked eye, but through my nods it showed up very bright. This was indicating to me that the hatch was most likely opening to the underground silo.
Oh, it's blinking. Okay, probably normal plane. I don't know. Oh, no. Black Hawk?
Wow, this
Or-
looks crazy.
Or is it like, yeah, something standing still?
They
I'm
got it
automatically
rotating
assuming-
up there on that pylon.
UFO or... Oh, what the hell? It's shining, huh? You imagine this is a UFO. But I'm assuming like a Black Hawk or like a military helicopter? Nah, bro. Seems like a helicopter to me.
Keep in mind, if this isn't the clearest video in the world, it's being filmed at over 1 mile away, probably close to 1.5 miles away, and in pitch dark condition.
You are forgiven, homie. You are forgiven. Don't worry, man.
Bruh.
You are forgiven. Because, yeah, I mean, makes sense. Nighttime plus mile away. I guess he's using a good camera because we can still see his face well. Even though it's dark, super dark. But yeah, that's the thing, guys. Like, we do have good cameras, though. But at nighttime, yeah, right? Mile away, you know, that's the best you can get, so...
Like there's no lights. They killed all the lights on the runway. They really didn't want this to be filmed. But
There's
I've got
that
my
plus-
PVS-14 night vision device here, and I have that stacked with my spotting scope. And yeah, hopefully this is going to come out cool. I can make out the vague shape of the craft. I can see the nose, and it looks like two vertical fins. I think the aircraft is upside down. They're spinning it around too, so.
Upside down? Oh my, what the
A
heck?
strange aircraft appeared, spinning around. Did he capture
Oh yeah, it did feel like that it was spinning, but I did not feel like it was upside down.
a UFO or some highly advanced military aircraft? Is this what we're not supposed to see?
Now, one thing is for certain, right? This is like one of those conspiracy theory that, you know, Bob Lazar, right? A lot of people believe him. There are very few people I see that would not believe him or that would claim that they don't or that say that they don't. If you do or don't, put it in the comments. That's perfectly fine. I feel like, yeah, I mean, the bigger the claims, the bigger the evidence is required for those claims to, yeah, exactly, right? We always gotta ask questions, but Bob Lazar did claim that he worked at S4 at Area 51, and he's seen like 9 UFOs at one time when they were all like lined up and the hangars were open. He claimed to have also gone in one of the UFOs themselves, and he said that it was designed for something small, for perhaps 3 feet tall biological creatures, because he found seats inside that UFO that he stepped in. Oh shit! Crazy, yeah, right. Like he said that during his Joe Rogan podcast too, when he was being interviewed, and of course he said that prior as well. But there are conspiracies that ever since then, ever since, you know, Area 51 came into the public limelight, they moved away from that. So now they are at a different. They shifted the so-called UFO stuff, the alien stuff, those kind of experiments somewhere else, because Area 51 got like famous for this. Now, nobody knows whether this is true or not. I mean, kind of makes sense, right? Area 51 is there now, seemingly, to absorb. It's like a sponge, right? Sponge for UFOs and alien talks. So it absorbs all that, but they're working on that secretively somewhere else, not at Area 51. I don't know, man. That's another conspiracy theory.
One night, a driver was cruising down a creepy, bumpy dirt road when he
bumpy.
rode past what seemed like a tombstone nearby.
Oh no. Ran out of water.
As he continued driving, he noticed a small, pale figure standing right in the middle of the road.
Mom, I need you right now, man. Oh, bruh, nah, bro.
The driver
Beep, beep.
slowed down, not sure what he was seeing. And as he got closer, the figure, a hooded figure, stood up and moved out of the way without showing its face. Why would anyone do that?
Why?
And I wonder, did this really happen, or is it staged?
Oh man,
What-
yo, I'm wondering, right? Like, was that thing like transparent or like a real human, right? Because if it's transparent, then of course we're getting down to the paranormal, the ghost stuff, right? But do you really want to find out? Probably not, man.
When a homeowner left her cabin in the woods to grab groceries, her surveillance camera sent a notification. And this is what she saw.
How?
A bear had quietly slipped in through a window. It walked straight to the fridge, opened it with surprising ease, and started digging through.
Yo, open the
After
big one,
grabbing
bro.
a bag of food, the bear calmly climbed back out the window.
This way,
The
bro.
outdoor camera caught it heading back into the woods, food in mouth, as if it were just
Food in mouth. Caught with food in mouth, bro. Caught. That's felony, man. There needs to be bear police, bro. We need the bear police. We need to arrest this bozo's ass, okay? For stealing food.
another day. It might look
Stealing in broad daylight on top.
amusing, but this kind of thing isn't harmless. If someone had been home, things could have gone sideways real fast.
Oh, then
At the
he
very
would've got-
least, she knew one thing. She'd either need to buy another bag of that food, or maybe not.
Yeah, it had it been there was a human, oh man, he could have got a lot of protein, bro.
A group of friends woke up startled while camping in the forest after hearing a close sound.
Yeah.
They stepped out of their tents to see what was going on. As they scanned the dark woods, their flashlights caught this.
Oh, no mummies. I saw on the left. Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Cover me, I'm reloading.
A figure, completely still, watching them from above. Their friends froze, unsure of what they were looking at. The figure seemed almost unnatural, like it had been waiting there for a long time. Was it an animal, a person, or something else? And honestly, what's worse?
Yeah, it's hard to make out what
A man went camping in Colorado when he heard the loud sound of rattlesnakes and decided to check it out.
Oh my god, like they're making that noise for real? This one moving too quick, the other one's sleeping. Nah, there's no way they're not making that noise. It's probably a machinery in the back. Oh my god. Yeah, imagine
As a
stepping
nature
there.
lover, he wasn't scared like most people would be. Instead, he followed the sound and discovered a huge den filled with prairie rattlesnakes. The snakes got a bit defensive as he got closer, but after capturing a good close-up shot, he backed off and left them alone.
Okay, that's
That
good.
night, he made sure to secure his tent extra well.
Because they may be coming. They may be coming.
During his hike, this man got lost in the woods. By 11 p.m., he was still wandering, and finding a way out was getting harder in the darkness. As if things couldn't get worse, he started hearing something moving in the dark.
Oh, this is the worst.
He scrambled up a tree, thinking it was his only shot at survival.
But
From his perch, he listened closely.
oh my. Hello. Hello. Don't say hello, bro. Doobie in hands. Doobie in hands. I'm done, bro. I'm done, bruh. Man got a camera, a light, sitting on top of a tree. You know, it's dark out here. He's hearing things, but still got a doobie in hands. Don't, bro, just sit quietly.
The sounds weren't like anything he'd ever heard before, and
Skinwalker?
he had no idea how dangerous it really was. He stayed up there for hours until he
Oh shit, it felt like there's something moving.
dangerous it really was.
Okay, down here, pay attention here.
He stayed up there for
Yo,
hours.
right here, after his shadow, it felt like there's something moved. Maybe it's
Idea how
imaginary.
dangerous it really was. He stayed up there for hours
Perhaps smoke only. Okay.
until he finally felt safe enough to climb down and continue. Thankfully, he found his way out before 3 a.m. Ahmad heard strange sounds around his property in the woods, coming from underground. Confused, he recorded this video.
6 foot hole dug here, and we've hit rock. But listen to this.
Listening.
He dug about 6 feet down and hit rock, but the sounds kept happening.
I mean, it's really loud.
Some think it could be evidence of something being built underground, while others suspect a gas pipe or a leak. That theory is especially worrying. If it is a gas leak, digging deeper could risk an explosion if ignited.
Yeah.
Still, all the theories felt strange to the man, especially since it was such an isolated area in the woods. He still has no explanation for it. This hiker had just set up camp near a river when, out of nowhere, he heard this.
Cut the music.
What the heck am I hearing?
What if it's not music? Or ambiance?
It didn't sound human. but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a little bit of that screaming, but there was also that ambiance music. Was that added as in like a background music, or was it like real sound?
Sound like any animal he recognized either. Was it just a known creature in distress?
Yeah, probably someone's uncle. Yeah, somebody's uncle, man. Somebody's uncle, bro.
He never found out what made that sound, and maybe that's for the best.
Good. Yeah, that's for the best. Maybe that is
This
good.
Reddit user shared a story about a house near where they live in the woods, one that's unsettled them for years. According to the post, something changed recently. Though the house had always looked off, new writing appeared on both the house and an old RV parked beside it. Scrawled
people?
across the home were the words,
23 people.
23 people killed this old man.
What?
The RV echoed the same message, along with a list of names. What makes it even more unsettling is that a bunch of children's toys are scattered in the backyard. And no one in the area seems to know what the words are about. The user wonders.
I mean, they say 23 people killed one old man. What the hell? Okay, this one's smooth. Hard to read the rest.
What happened here?
I probably don't want to find out.
Earl and his dog Ice were on a day trip through Sequoia National Park.
Seems beautiful.
The weather had closed off some areas, so they weren't expecting much. But what happened next made the trip unforgettable.
Ow. Bears came in, okay. So far only one. Searching for something to munch on. Guess what? Coming across a human. 200 grams. Plus potential protein. Oh, he's sniffing. Oh, there's a dog inside too. Yeah, are dogs afraid of bears? I assume, right? But he's not backing away. But dogs are smart, so they know like he's inside the car. Move the car, bro. Now would be a good time, I guess, to or maybe not.
As they sat in their car, a bear casually walked up and began inspecting the vehicle. Ice stared calmly at the bear from inside, while Earl filmed the whole thing. Then it even jumped onto the truck. After about a minute and a half, Earl slowly rolled the car forward. The bear hopped off and wandered away. What a way to get closer to nature.
Yeah.
Justin Brown had been noticing strange...
Yeah, that's what I've been like noticing too, right? Based off of these videos. Try to stay still. Or scream crazy loud. Don't run. That's what you hear, right? Don't run from a bear, because it will chase you down.
Looking people living in tents near his hometown of Lompoc, California. Realizing the potential danger, he decided not to investigate in person, but instead flew a drone over the area. To his surprise, he discovered an entire colony of strangers living just a mile from his home. He had no idea who these people were or where they had come from. People online were also curious about the blue flickering light captured in the footage.
Aliens!
Sadly, there have been no official updates, but some commenters mentioned that the entire colony had vanished the day after the drone footage was taken.
What the hell?
What were they doing there?
What the hell? Show me like a side by side. Yeah, and go down a little bit with the drone, bro. Like, we need more. Nah, man, that's such a
Reddit user
catfish
posted
move.
about something creepy their neighbor spotted on a trail cam. At first, they thought it might be a werewolf, but the weird part is, they've never heard howling. What's even stranger is they used to have packs of coyotes around, but now they don't hear or see them anymore.
Oh.
It's like the coyotes just vanished. The neighbors shared that they had been feeling like they're being watched, but couldn't quite explain it. People are wondering if, whatever this is taking out the wildlife in the area. two friends decide to venture into Bohemian Grove
Oh
in
my
broad
God.
daylight.
Another one? Yeah, just the other day we had a video like that where a guy was sneaking into Bohemian Grove. I believe Tyler Oliveira also did it, or perhaps I'm mixing him up with somebody else. In fact, the video that we done the other day where a guy was going into Bohemian Grove was not Tyler Oliveira, he was somebody else. I don't remember his name, but yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so we got two other... Yeah, it seems like that people now go, ever since Alex Jones, yeah, nowadays, like, some people do, but they stopped doing that owl ritual, right? Because Alex Jones actually caught people doing the owl ritual, or well, I guess that's how you say, right? The crazy one. Nowadays, I don't think they do it anymore.
While exploring, they came across the owl statue. The deeper they went, the more unsettling it felt.
Yeah,
and the mystery surrounding the place only made it creepier. Could all the stories about Bohemian Grove be true?
Perhaps.
If they are, just imagine the dark things that may have taken place there.
Yeah, this is that original video there.
A hiker was camping deep in the Appalachian Mountains. While wandering through the forest, he suddenly heard something.
Bah! Clearing her throat.
A series of disturbing noises echoing through the trees. He froze, trying to pinpoint the source, but saw nothing. Was it just a wild animal, like a lynx or a bobcat, or was something else lurking in the Appalachian Mountains? Either way, he was lucky he didn't come face to face with whatever was making those sounds.
Yeah, probably don't wanna find that one out, man. Check this there. Shout out to the homie Slapham and Barry Step. Roll it.
The footage then shows the car being towed out of the ravine. That's when the camera captures something truly chilling. Watch.
What the hell? Are we gonna see like... Oh shit, wait, what?
Watching
Somebody's
that
inside.
again, it appears as though a skeletal hand releases something from its grasp, then retracts back into the car.
Somebody was inside. But
does
nobody
anyone know
was.
if there's ever been a reasonable explanation given for this clip? I've seen it probably a dozen times or so over the years, but I've never heard a reasonable explanation given for it. If you go frame by frame, you can see that whatever that was, it wasn't skeletal in its movement. You can see the muscles in its thumb moving fluidly whenever it releases its grasp. I don't know what's going on in this clip, but this doesn't strike me as the type of situation where someone would have filming a fake ghost video at the forefront of their mind. Whatever this is, I think the footage is legitimate. I just don't know what we're looking at.
So in November of 1984, NASA took some of the most terrifying videos and photos of an untethered spacewalk that was conducted by two astronauts named Dale Gardner and Joseph Allen. Now, these untethered space flights mean that they were not connected or attached to the spacecraft that they were exiting, and they were free floating in space, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour over the surface of the planet. Now, they were doing this untethered spacewalk because there were two communication satellites that were launched that had rocket failures and were failing to find their correct orbits, and so they were trying to get over to them using these manned maneuvering units in order to make the...
Probably artifact glitch, right? It felt like that some things passed by, like UFOs and some shit like that, but not probably artifacts glitch.
corrections for these satellites. The space shuttle that they exited in order to do this mission was Space Shuttle Discovery, which had launched on November 8th of that year. Now, once the pilot David Walker and the commander Frederick Hawk piloted the Discovery within 35 feet of the satellites, Allen and Gardner exited the airlock and began their untethered spacewalk to recover the satellites. But seeing pictures like this is like crazy, because imagine if something goes wrong and you're just out there floating around in space. That's pretty terrifying.
I have a really hard time believing this. I know that I have an extreme bias when it comes to pretty much anything regarding NASA, but these guys were supposedly orbiting the planet at over 17,000 miles an hour, and the only way they could fix this satellite...
Yeah, I definitely need my Space is Fake homies in the comment section right now. Yeah, that would be interesting, right? How many of you believe space is fake? If you do, yeah, let me know in the comments. Because, yeah, it's one thing to... because, of course, you got Flat Earth Gang, You got Space is Fake gang. You also got fake moon landing gang. But with the moon landing, yes, I get it why people don't believe it, right? I get it because of the footage. There's a whole lot of evidence that suggests that the footage was manipulated. Now, there are a couple of different theories, conspiracy theories with the moon that we have explored previously, and a lot of people have also covered. Now, the first theory is that it was fake. Completely fake. That the moon landing was completely fake. Secondly, it was real. It was completely real. The third one is the most interesting one, right? That the moon landing was real, but the video that they showed us was fake. Because they caught something, they recorded something that they could not show to the public. Therefore, they faked it in a Hollywood studio. So the video they showed was fake. This would explain why when the astronauts came back, allegedly, they were not super optimistic. They were super, like, zoned out. And a lot of people were like, hey, bro, like, you were the first one to land on moon. You like show some enthusiasm. You do not need to be excited like a 12-year-old making a TikTok video, but show some enthusiasm. You were the first ones to land on the moon, right? Talk to us about it. Like, show some enthusiasm. But they were not during their press conference. But still, that does not mean that they did not or did go. Like, it does not prove or disprove anything. But it was certainly odd because people do catch up on the energy, what the cool kids nowadays would like to say, the vibes. Maybe they were introvert. Maybe they don't like talking that much. Maybe they were just bad communicator. Now, it's one thing, right? We have a lot of geniuses that are not good communicator, but they are good at what they do. Elon Musk right now, he's like super controversial, but you know, before he got super controversial, you know, people were treating him like, you know, the Iron Man, but real Tony Stark of the real Tony Stark, real life Tony Stark, right? And people would be like, he's good at what he does, but he's not a good communicator because whenever he talks, he's like, no disrespect though, I mean, it happens, right? He maybe perhaps his mind is going way too fast, so he's getting a lot of thoughts, so it takes him a while to put all of his thoughts into one coherent sentence. Perhaps that's what's going on, but it does not mean, like, if somebody like cannot speak or is not an effective communicator, it does not mean that they are dumb, or, you know, there are a whole lot of geniuses that are genius in their way, in their field, but not necessarily genius in terms of talking, because there's also speaking IQ and there's also IQ in general, right? So there's that. So perhaps that's the thing. But I would like to believe that, I mean, I love the conspiracies, but I would like to believe that, yes, we did land, but the videos were fake. But, of course, let me know where you guys are at with it. And if we keep on talking, we're going to be here for days and hours, man. But
light was to send 2 guys over to it without a safety harness? For what reason? Why would they need to do this without a tether? It just sounds to me like they probably made up a story about a broken satellite so they would have something heroic sounding to report on and get people talking good about NASA again. I'm betting this event took place pretty close to another event that was being reported on at the time that they didn't want any eyes on.
We say to those people who might think this is insane.
So just come hang out with us for a bit. I bet you any money by the end of the weekend you're going to leave with a microchip.
Nah.
My name is Anastasia Sin. I'm a magician.
Oh no. Bruh, no,
and a biohacker.
Nope. You can even hear my hand because my hand has like 8 magnets in it, so my whole hand is now a speaker.
Blues.
This goes to my website. This is a LED light. There's like a TED Talk, how we're all cyborgs.
You are all actually cyborgs. Suddenly we're a new form of Homo sapiens.
It really resonated with me. My house, my car, my clothes are my exoskeleton. Without them, I'm not exactly me. So adding more technology didn't really seem that weird.
It's literally a chunk of silicone with a battery and a circuit board.
If you are someone...
Okay, if you think that's not weird, then... Okay, bro. Like, I don't know about that one, man. Yeah, bro, what is... I mean, Neuralink is one thing. Now, Neuralink, I don't recommend you being the first. Yeah, with technologies like that, you definitely do not want to be the first. But you also don't want to be the last, right? Unless, yeah, you don't care. I mean, everybody got their needs and wants, so it's, you know, there's that. But you definitely don't want to be the first one. You don't want to be the guinea pig, right? Now, what we have learned so far, Neuralink has been beneficial for people with disabilities, right? People that, you know, if there is no way to cure your, like, hear, if you cannot hear, there's another word for it, right? I'm forgetting that. Like, if you cannot speak, if you cannot see, and if those things are not curable, and Neuralink promises that it will cure, and you desperately need it, yeah, I mean, I get that at that point, right? You get it, and then you cure your disease, knowing that it actually works. So if it works, go for it. But other than that, I don't know about that, man. I don't trust it, though, so.
Someone who hacks your skin with an electronic, we call them a grinder. Let's see what we got in the Dangerous Things kit of how to become a cyborg.
Yeah. Man, what the hell? Your Neuralink is one thing, but this is completely insane.
All right, let's see what it says, shall we?
Hey, ABC News. Let me show you what a body can do.
I try really hard not to judge people. I especially try not to make assumptions about people's intellectual capabilities.
Facts. I mean, I hear you, brother. I know why, but let's get down to it. Let's forget the prerequisites. But I get what you're trying to say. I get it, Holmes. Even me, man, same as me, but he's like, I don't judge, but I'm about to judge hard, though. That's what he's trying to say right now.
But I can't help but to feel a little sympathy for these people. They seem excited by what they're doing, but this is not only dangerous, but it's an extremely stupid idea. I'm not completely certain, but it looks like, from everything that I've seen, that most of these biohacking devices that they're installing in themselves are devices that they've created on their own. What happens when the battery you put in something under your skin starts leaking out into your bloodstream, or that circuit board that you installed in your leg starts leaching out toxic metals into your system? I highly doubt these are medical grade devices that they're toying with. I think stuff like this is disturbing. Honestly, I'm not even a fan of weird body piercings though, so it could just be that.
Yeah, same, bro, same. But I know, like, there's probably like one or two of you that got like body piercing, and you're like, these dumbasses be talking about me. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, cool, but you do you, boo-boo. But now, but this one, okay, topic at hand, okay, stick to the topic at hand. This one's crazy.
This gives me the heebie-jeebies. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-step.com.
You want to know how deep I've gone down rabbit holes? I'm convinced that both of the world wars were really just to erase the old world. And that there was an entire narrative scripted around who the bad guys were, who the allies are, and it was really meant to just destroy all of these beautiful cities. They took out all of the bells. If you guys haven't looked into why there would be bells in public spaces, and the healing properties and the harmonious properties that these churches and all the architecture was built in. Okay, it's sacred geometry, and it's not unrealistic that they started 2 world wars and put, at the time, our best men in every single country lined up across each other because they wanted to take out the most brave and quote-unquote prestigious men for every country, knowing that all of them would want to go to war.
Is he spitting, though?
I don't know where he was going with that last part. I don't know what his reasoning is for why all of the prestigious men of the world would want to go to war. But in regards to the World War II stuff and the stuff about them removing all the bells, the more I dig, the more I'm landing on the same conclusion. I don't think we've been given a reliable history.
Recently, I came across a video that I watched. It was about, you know, there was a guy, he's considered the hero. He would save the whales because back in the 70s, the 80s, yeah, like Japan and there were other countries that were like hunting whales, actually killing them. So they would find them, shoot, like, I don't know the actual word, but, you know, they would be on their hunting boats, hunting ships, and they would shoot down a whale whenever they would see, and it would explode. And then, yeah, the thing would shoot, hit the whale on the skin, go inside, penetrate, and explode, ultimately killing the whale. And then the whale would cry, and the whales, apparently, they have bigger brain than humans, and they got an extra lobe. But yeah, this is crazy. Like, this is a fact, okay? So they have an extra lobe which helps them with emotional processing. So they have an extra lobe in comparison to human, which means that they are a lot more smarter and they have more emotional intelligence than human. Crazy stuff, right? So they would scream, they would yell, they would cry, ultimately, you know, bringing more whales towards them because other whales would come to rescue. And guess what? When they would come, us humans would hunt them down even more. There was a guy that was considered and is considered the hero. I'm forgetting his name. I'm sure some of you know who I'm talking about. You can put it in the comments if you know. But yeah, he basically went against the narrative and started like making sure that we don't kill them whales because the population was dipping. Now, the craziest thing in this one is that, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because people that were hunting them down, they were hunting them down for like an oil, you know, like whale oil, I guess you would call it. And ultimately, we would hunt them down, kill them. Japan would sell meat, but we would also extract this so-called whale oil, which would be used to make like a very particular missile. Get this, okay? We're killing nature and we're extracting the oil to make missiles that would ultimately kill humans. It's crazy, right? Like, we humans were insane like that, bro. Like, damn, when you like think about it this way, it is crazy. I'm forgetting the guy's name. Like, ultimately, like, he's considered the hero. He was like trying to save whales and he was an animal lover. So yeah, I'm losing my voice right now, but
for anything anymore. I think there was more to the world wars than we're being told, and I think they removed all of those bells because of their healing properties. Just an interesting timeline to look into if you haven't. Look at the timeline for World War II, how it coincides with the melting down of all of these bells to be turned into ammunition, and how that coincides with the creation and ramping up of production of petroleum-based pharmaceuticals in the United States. When you place those two timelines side by side and look at the details of how certain events played out, I think there's a connection there.
Okay, hear me out. What if that group that's claiming to summon UFOs isn't summoning UFOs at all? What if it's something else entirely? And maybe...
Yo, if this alien start moving, yo, I'm about to run, boy.
Even something we shouldn't be messing with. So, you've heard of Skywatcher, led by Jake Barber. They claim that they can summon UAPs.
AKA the eyes wide open guy. You know, he's known as the eyes wide open guy. Guys that never blinks, bro. Guy that must have seen something for real.
UAPs using something called a dog whistle, which is by Jake Barber. They claim that they can summon UAPs using something called a dog whistle, which isn't a real dog whistle per se, but it's some type of machine that they've developed that sends a specific mix of frequency signals, which is then accompanied by focused mental intention. This is what it allegedly sounds like.
UAP frequency generator version 1.1.2 advanced frequency synthesis is synthesis. Okay, I'm probably gonna butcher it. Bruh. I need to hear the pronunciation to be able to. Frequency layer 7.83 Hz FM simulates Skinwalker 100 Hz.
Their events are often recorded and documented, and strangely enough, lights and objects do show up. But the question that no one's asking is, what are they really summoning? Just because something responds to a signal doesn't mean it's what you think it is. If the dog whistle is real, and it's opening a kind of a channel or a gateway, who or what is coming through? Because some people think it's not just UFOs, it's something much weirder.
I can't help but be reminded of all the evidence that we have of these ancient cultures being obsessed with frequency. We have example after example of them going to extreme measures to build representation of certain frequencies into these massive structures. What if the magic of the old days, the calls for a lot of folklore and fairy tales, all stems from a culture that utilized frequency manipulation to do things like this? I'm of the same assumption that this guy has, that we're dealing with spiritual beings. If that's the case, then this is evidence that we can interact with that other dimension using sound. For whatever reason, when this sound is played, it stirs up activity. That would imply that wherever these things are, they can hear this sound loud enough to pick it up and even notice it. And it must have meaning if they're still investigating this sound after all these false alarms, where they show up to investigate the sound and it's just some guy standing in a field with a Bluetooth speaker and an iPhone. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, and I may be way off, but I have a really bad feeling about this. Like, maybe we're all being tricked into playing this in an effort to summon something.
I just witnessed an orb being followed by a helicopter. Watch this video, is right over my house.
Oh, I think I've seen something like that. Maybe exact same video?
Yo.
Suspect indeed.
That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter.
Is it escorting or they're like, go there?
What the hell?
Maybe they're trying to put tariffs on him. Yeah, put tariffs on these threats.
Smells like something's burning.
Ooh, burning sensation.
Nuts.
I just want to give props to the cameraman there. He actually held the camera moderately steady and kept focus on what the viewer was wanting to see. And that turned out to be one of the clearest orb videos I've ever seen. It looks like whatever these things are, the military can't do anything but just try to keep tabs on it. I'm convinced that a lot of the stuff in the air is just our government, but not these orbs. I think those are something entirely different. And it's a little concerning seeing how close they're flying to people's house.
And this is the thing that I was talking about in the last episode of this series, right? Where yes, UFOs make sense. I mean, they don't make sense, but hear me out. They make sense because, okay, they're objects, right? Unidentified, but whatever, flying objects. So you got triangle-shaped UFO, box-shaped mother effers. You got round discs, yeah, right, saucer-like UFOs. Don't make sense, but still make sense, kind of, okay? Because when you compare that to the orbs, makes sense, right? Yeah, because the orbs, the plasmoids, they feel like it's living organism, like the jellyfish UFO. Don't feel like a UFO. We covered that jellyfish UFO in the last video, and it does not feel like a UFO. It feels like a living jellyfish, but it's not underwater, it's not in ocean, it's actually flying in the sky, and it seems real, and it seems alive, it seems like it got a mind of its own, and it's moving too. So you got orbs and plasmoids like that. I mean, that's what we're calling them. And UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, they feel alive. It's like a biological creature, but it's floating in the air. You don't have any explanation for it, but somehow it's alive. So yeah, that thing is completely, I would say that's completely different.
Now, and that thing looked like it could care less that helicopter was telling it. Thing acted like it was taking a leisurely stroll on a summer afternoon. It seems like they're getting quite a bit more brazen with their flight patterns now. Like they're not concerned with trying.
And this is that video. We had a lot of like camping footage as well, where people are, you know, seeing a lot of these creatures, but also we had UFO stuff in it too. Click on this video on the screen and I'll see you right there. Check it out. And yeah, this is the one that I was talking about.